case study. And the purpose of this case study is to help emphasize the importance of having policies and procedures, and in particularly to have those policies and procedures written somewhere as an understanding. So I would like to give everyone 60 to 90 seconds and just have you read the situation, the background of this case, please. Okay, did everyone have a chance to read that? Sounds like we've got a problem, and it doesn't sound like it's a new problem. So that's the background. Now let me give you another couple minutes to read about the investigation, what happened, and what were some of the conclusions. What are some guttural responses after you read the background and the investigation? What comes to mind? How do you feel? What are you thinking?
Up and out. They were just getting rid of the problem from one department to another. And it happens in corporate all the time.
I agree with Lori. I would say it happens in corporate, it happens in government, it happens in the small business. I've seen this in nonprofits. And why is that? It's most people don't like to engage in conflict. And we hope that problems or anything that's undesirable, we hope it corrects itself, or we hope it goes away. That's wishful thinking. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. But we're all guilty of it. So I agree with Lori. All the time does this occur. And I would say it spans across any employer situation. Even with volunteers in a nonprofit, we coach our nonprofits to say your volunteers are as important as you are, or as your employees are, and they represent your nonprofit. So you can fire a volunteer, and you also should have a policy and procedure manager or manual that helps your volunteers understand what you're looking for. All right, now let's read together the underlying problem of this case. And then next, before we discuss, let's look at the end result of what ended up happening in this case. And this is a true case, by the way, a real case. Open it back up to the group. What went wrong here?
Kind of tough to say, but mainly it just flew under the radar. The tricky part is that they say they've had those policies in place, but they just weren't being followed.
Yeah,
I agree with Dustin, but also I think that management may have not been working closely enough with the HR person to understand how they needed to document any issue right up front and get it in the file.
key. Documenting conversations, positive conversations, and conversations of applause, as well as conversations of here's what didn't go so well, and here's my suggestion on how you can do it better next time. Whatever we document happened. And in these cases, whatever is not documented never happened. So we can say it did, it didn't, unless it was documented. And the best time to document, again, positive or constructively critical employee conversations, is right after you've had the conversation. Not, I'll get to it next week, because next week becomes next month, and then all of a sudden we haven't done it. Talk to me about your thoughts on the fact that this behavior was occurring within this employee's first 90 days. What's the significance of that?
It's probably during their probationary time, so they could have been eliminated right then.
Much easier to arrive at a conclusion with an employee, and the reason I say it that way is that generally in the first few months, not only the employer, but also the employee have a pretty good feel if this was a good fit. And within those first 90 days, if we're communicating a lot with that person, oftentimes the employee discovers it for themselves. I don't fit in here, or I don't share these values, or whatever the case may be. But in this case, it sounds like this person's behavior continued well beyond the 90 days, which I think in some way lets the employee feel that that behavior was permissible, as well as shared the message with the rest of the organization that management isn't real concerned about this kind of behavior. And that's a dangerous assumption to have anyone make about the business as well. So
education pages, if you're looking for helpful places.
Thank you for watching our video. If you would like to speak with a business advisor at no cost to you, please feel free to reach out. We're the Small Business Development Center at Blue Mountain Community College. Please attend one of our workshops, either virtually or in person, or just give us a call. Thank you.